Hey, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome. My name is Maddie, and today I'll be doing my Q&A for hitting 1,000 subscribers. About 2 weeks ago, I put out a Q&A announcement letting you guys know that I was ready to do a Q&A for celebrating hitting 1,000 subscribers. I wanted to do something to celebrate, so I thought let's just do a Q&A because I've only done one Q&A on my channel in 4 years I've been doing YouTube, BookTube, and I had been wanting to do another one, so I thought this was a great excuse to do one because I hit 1,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for helping me get to this point. It truly means a lot. So this is going to be our little celebration video. We're getting to this point because I am so happy. So I'm excited to celebrate it. So enough rambling, let's just get right into the questions. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to answer every single question that I have, so let's start from the top and make our way down. The first question is, what was the first anime you watched? I believe I have mentioned this before. The first anime I watched was Fruits Basket, and that was in 2012. So that was about, I think that was like 7 or 8 years ago. So I've been watching anime for quite a bit of time. I decided to watch this one first because it was the anime that I was most interested in, and I'd also been hearing so many great things about it. It was like the #1 anime that everyone was talking about around me. So I gave it a try and I fell in love with it. So I decided to keep watching more anime, and I became a fan of the medium in general. And it's kind of funny to think about Fruits Basket being the first anime I watched because now Fruits Basket is my favorite story of all time. It means so much to me, so it's kind of cool that it was the first anime I ever watched. The next one says, I remember subscribing to you when you had around 100 or so subs. Wow, that is really cool. I sometimes forget that I've been on here for so long, been on YouTube for so long, and it kind of boggles my mind that someone who was watching me when I had around 100 subscribers is still here. That is so cool. Thank you so much for sticking around. That is so awesome. So your question is, what's your favorite book you read so far? Which is a hard question, but I have mentioned that my favorite book, at least still right now, is The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout. That book means so much to me. I've reread it 3 times now, and I could honestly reread it 1,000 times more. I never get tired of it. I love the message of it. I relate to it so much since it deals with a girl who is very socially anxious, which is me to a T, and so I really related to the situation she got in, and I also love the romance. It is so sweet. I cannot recommend it enough. It is one that everyone should read. So this next one is multiple questions, so let's see if I can get through them all. Alright, the first one is, what are some of your favorite anime and manga other than Fruits Basket? Which is a good question because I talk about Fruits Basket so much and not enough of other anime and manga. So let's start with manga first. Honestly, I have not read a lot of manga, which I really need to read more, and I'm working on reading more series. But other than Fruits Basket, I'd say my favorite is Ouran High School Host Club, which is right there. I really love that series, and it probably is my second favorite manga series, first being Fruits Basket. It's a really enjoyable one, a really popular one, but I'd really recommend to give it a try. And as for anime, my favorite anime, other than Fruits Basket, honestly, the original Fruits Basket isn't even my favorite anime because it was so disappointing, but I have a feeling the remake to Fruits Basket will become my favorite anime of all time, but it's not completed yet, so I can't say that. But my favorite anime besides that would be Parasite. That's an anime that I watched a few years ago, and I never thought I would actually like it, but I ended up adoring it so much so that it is, as of right now, my favorite anime of all time. And I've actually seen it, I've rewatched it twice because I really love it so much and I'd love to see it again. Next one is, have you ever read or watched Noragami or Pandora Hearts? I actually tried to watch Noragami a month ago, and I got a few episodes into it before I kind of dropped it because it wasn't holding my attention, so I don't know if I'd ever try it again unless any of you or the person who asked this thinks it's good. Maybe you can convince me. As for Pandora Hearts, I've heard of it, but I've never watched it, so I'm sure I'll get around to it at some point since I remember hearing about it so long ago, so I should probably give that one a try. Next, what's your favorite drink from Starbucks? Caramel Frappuccino. That's the drink that I usually always get. And for the past few days, I've actually been craving Starbucks, so I want to go sometime. Do you watch, or what's your favorite Marvel movie? I don't watch a lot of Marvel movies since I'm not a huge superhero fan, but I have seen a lot of the Spider-Man movies because Spider-Man is actually my favorite superhero. So I really love Spider-Man and I love the movies that take place in that universe. And lastly, did you ever make it farther than the first chapter in Harry Potter? So I guess you were around when I did my video on reacting to the first chapter of Harry Potter, so that's cool. I tried reading Harry Potter and I did make it past the first chapter, but I never finished it, and I still don't know if I am ever going to because I tried it and just could not get into it. I don't know. I go back and forth on whether or not I want to continue with it, even though so many people have tried to convince me to keep on reading it, but it's so much out of my comfort zone. But you never know. Maybe I'll end up being interested in picking it back up again. We'll see. Next question is, what is your favorite Fruits Basket Another character? Which is a good one because I have been really obsessed with Fruits Basket Another lately since I've recently read this series and I love it so much. My favorite character from that series has to be Hajime. For the shallow reason because he's Kyo's son and Kyo is my favorite character of all time. So of course, I'm gonna love Hajime the most because I love Kyo, and he shares a lot of similar characteristics to Kyo. He has his moody moments, those moments where he kind of loses his temper, but he has his soft and gentle side to him too. So he's very balanced in that way. He has a lot of great traits about him that I admire, and he gives some really good advice to the main character Sala in this series that I absolutely love. I remember at one point, it was the second volume, where something he said really hit me. He told her that just because someone is your family, just because you're related to them, doesn't mean that you have to have a relationship with them, which is so true. I think true family doesn't define you by blood, but by genuine relationships, and that was the message he was trying to get across. So I really admired that, and I loved how he said that. So not only do I love him because he's Kyo's son, but I honestly do love his personality. I also love Sora. She's such a bundle of joy. She has so much energy and she's so adorable. So those are my two characters that I really love in this series so far. The next question is, what are 5 of your favorite YouTube channels that you enjoy watching? And that is a good one because I make videos, but I also watch a ton of YouTube. Like, I watch YouTube more than I watch TV. My favorite channels, it's hard because I love so many channels. Let's go over, I guess, BookTube channels first. I'd say my favorite is probably Books and Lala. I really love how creative she is with her videos. I've been following her for a long time and she always comes out with such original content that I enjoy. So she is, I think, my favorite. I also love Thoughts on Tomes, another one I've been following since I've joined BookTube since the beginning, and she always makes such thought-provoking videos on book discussions that I really love watching. And even though she reads books completely different than I do, she reads fantasy mostly, and I am a contemporary reader, I still enjoy her videos just because the way she explains books is so captivating. She does it so well and honestly makes me want to pick up more fantasy books because she makes them sound so good and cool, even though I'm not a fantasy reader. Other channels, okay, so that was 2. 3, a channel I've been watching for, I want to say a year now, is Loey Lane, and she makes creepy videos, like paranormal, true crime videos. And to be honest, they kind of scare me sometimes, but I still watch them. And I also watch them because I just love her personality. She's so bubbly, and it makes me feel like she's an actual friend, the way she talks to her audience. So I really enjoy her videos. Another paranormal true crime channel that I love is Haley Reese. This girl is so freaking beautiful. Every time I watch one of her videos, I just admire how pretty she is. I can always tell when I'm watching her, she puts so much work into her videos. She researches so many topics that have to do with true crime and paranormal cases. It's really admirable how much information she comes up with. So I can really tell she puts a lot of effort into her videos. And the last one is actually another true crime channel. You can tell I love watching true crime and paranormal channels. And that would be Michelle Plotty. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing her name right. I discovered her a few months ago, and she mostly does videos on true crime and conspiracy theories. So some of the things she talks about can get pretty deep and creepy, but I love it. I love her conspiracy theory videos because they're so interesting and give me a lot to think about. The next one is one with multiple questions, so let's get through them. First one, who is your all-time favorite anime villain or villainess? And that's a good one. The one I can think of, one that I think is my favorite, even though I haven't seen this anime in so long, is Medusa from Soul Eater. She is such a creepy villain. I remember she's very calculating, and she kind of has a double life because she is the teacher at the school this universe takes place in, but also behind the scenes she is a villain and the kids don't even know it. That is so creepy. So her creepiness definitely came off to me. Next one, what underrated YA contemporary books would you recommend to fans of To All the Boys I've Loved Before? That is a very specific question, which I love To All the Boys I've Loved Before. I would recommend that one. But for books that are like it, I'd say books like it would be, summary, romance, contemporary books. So let's see what comes up at the top of my head. P.S. I Like You by Casey West is a good one. That one follows a romance between two pen pals who don't know each other, but they are talking to each other and falling in love with each other throughout their notes. It's a very sweet book. Another one, How to Love by Katie Cotugno would be a good one. That one isn't as fluffy as To All the Boys I've Loved Before. It kind of takes on a little bit of a serious topic, which is teen pregnancy, but it kind of has that same fluffy feel that To All the Boys I Loved Before has. Let me think of one more off the top of my head. I guess I would say The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. That one is a book that takes place during the summer and is about a girl who had her whole summer planned out, but then her plans fall through, so she kind of has to wing her summer, and she goes on an adventure throughout that season. That one is really, really good. I recently reread it, and I didn't love it as much upon reread, but there were still a lot of things that I loved about it. I love the characters, and I love the love interest in it so much. He is so swoon-worthy and adorable, so yeah, that is a good one. What are your most anticipated new releases for this summer? To be honest, I have not even looked at the summer releases for this year at all. I don't even know what's coming out this summer. I know one, and that is Storm and Fury by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and that is a book by my favorite author, so of course I know that book is coming out, so I definitely want to read that possibly this season, but other than that, I don't know what else is coming out this summer. That's the only one. Next one, what are your thoughts on the Game of Thrones series finale? That was the series finale? Oh. Anyway, I have never watched Game of Thrones, but obviously I've heard a lot about it. I did hear, though, because you can't really get away from the talk of Game of Thrones in the media at all. It is everywhere. I've heard that the finale wasn't good. So that's all I have to say on that because I haven't seen the finale, but I've heard a lot of negative opinions about it. The reason I've never watched Game of Thrones is because high fantasy is really out of my comfort zone. That's a genre that I stay away from because usually I can't understand it. But because Game of Thrones is so popular, I might watch it sometime because now I'm intrigued to know why everyone loves it so much. Next one, what's the one anime trope that you don't like? It's a good one because there are a lot of tropes in anime that I really don't like. Anime can get so cliche. The trope I really don't like is the male protagonist who is very, I don't know how to put it, it's a really specific one, who is very, not socially awkward, but is kind of plain and clumsy, and who usually is surrounded by girls, so a harem anime, where it's all of these hot girls and then this one guy who's kind of weird and just plain and is always one trope. This also, I'm mentioning so many tropes in one thing. The cliche of the male guy falling onto the girl and like landing on her boobs or accidentally touching her boobs as he falls on her, and the girl completely losing her mind and beating him even though it was an accident. I hate that trope so much. Why is it in so much anime? It's not funny, it's annoying, and it's annoying that the female in the situation automatically is like, oh, this guy's a pervert. No, he fell on you by accident. What the heck is wrong with you? Why can't you understand that? I hate that trope. I hate seeing it. It needs to stop. And lately in more recent anime, I haven't really seen it a lot, so that's good. Keep it away. It's a lame trope and it's stupid. If you could cast a famous actor to play the role of Kosei in the live-action big screen adaptation of Your Lie in April, who would you pick? There's going to be a live adaptation of that anime. I didn't know that. I have seen Your Lie in April, but I never finished it. I got like halfway through it and for some reason never finished it. And because I watched it so long ago, I don't really remember it. Is Kosei the main character? Is it? Should I look it up really quick just to make sure? Yes, he's the main character. Okay, so a famous actor I would pick. I honestly don't know because I don't remember a lot about Your Lie in April. So I can't really answer that one, I'm sorry. However, I'd be interested to see a live action of this show. I really did love this show because it does have to do with music, and music is one of my favorite things to read about in books and watch in movies, anime, so I'd be interested to watch live action of it. And then, what really inspired you to start a booktube channel? Around the time that I started my booktube channel, I just got into reading so much so that I just wanted to talk about the books that I was reading, and I had also discovered booktube as a whole, started watching a lot of booktube videos, and just got really interested in what everyone was talking about, and I wanted to join in on it, so that's why I started a booktube channel, and I'm really glad I did because doing booktube has brought me so much joy. I love making videos, I love talking to people about the books that I read, so yeah, I really have enjoyed doing booktube these past 4 years. Okay, now moving on to the next person who asked a question, and that is, what's your thoughts on stories without chapters? That's a good one. I've only read one book that was a book that had no chapters, and that was Stolen by Lucy Christopher. This book is written to be as if it was a whole letter. Instead of dividing it by chapters, it's just one huge long letter, which is a very cool format that I've never seen before in a book. So I really like that. My thoughts on books without chapters, if it can work, it can work. I don't think it can work for every single story, but there are some stories where books without chapters I can see working. And then the other question that this person asked is, have you read any stories without chapters, or are you writing one without them? I just answered the first one. I have read a story that doesn't have chapters, and that is Stolen. Have I written one without chapters? I have. I've written a short story that doesn't have chapters in it. Instead, it's divided by timestamps instead of numbered chapters. And usually I do write my short stories in a way that they don't have chapters because they are so short, so that's not a huge deal to write a short story that doesn't have chapters. Would I ever write a novel that does have chapters? I don't see it ever happening anytime soon, but You never know if a story calls for no chapters, maybe I'll try it out. Next question, what's your favorite anime? I kind of already answered that, and that is Parasite. But since you asked the question, I guess I'll expand on that more because I kind of glossed over that question in the first one because there were so many questions that went along with it. So this anime follows this guy who wakes up and realizes that his hand has become an alien, which is such a weird premise, but I am telling you, this anime is so good. It has a lot of action in it, but one of the themes it also covers is how humanity acts as a whole, especially in situations where it comes to viewing other species, because this whole anime is about the aliens versus the humans. And the aliens at first are really bad, like they're trying to take over the human race and all that, but at the same time, the humans start to show their true colors, and you kind of get the idea that the human race is actually the bad guys. Like, are they any better than these aliens because they're going to extreme measures to obliterate them? So I like how it takes on that theme, and I really love the main character. That's probably the main reason I love this anime. The main character goes through so much character development that it is amazing. So I really love this one. I would highly recommend it. Be warned though, it is super gory. Like, youngins, don't watch this one at all. Don't watch this one if you're under 18. Or at least under 16, because it is super gory. And the very last question, what's your favorite video and which one is the best? I think the context of this question is, what's my favorite video that I've ever made? I don't know if that's what you were implying, but I'll go with that. My most favorite video that I've ever made. This one is going to take some thinking. I really love making playlist book tags, so all the videos where I've done the playlist book tag are probably my favorites because they're so much fun to film. And I've done three rounds of it, and I still want to do more because I just love filming them. So I'm sure I'll do another playlist book tag very soon in the near future. So those were all the questions. Those were all really good questions. Some of them are so specific too. I'm like impressed. Like, I could never come up with some of these questions. So I really appreciate all of you guys commenting and giving me some questions to answer. So I hope it helped you get to know me a little bit more. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you had fun celebrating 1,000 subscribers with me. Now we're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Whether that happens soon or takes a long time doesn't matter because I still enjoy doing YouTube. Anyway, the numbers aren't a huge deal. I just love interacting with you guys and just talking about books and anime. It's super fun. Anyway, I'll go. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below for more bookish related videos and anime videos, and I'll be back really soon. Bye!